Ooh. All right. This is my gold trade on the wrong chart. On Trading View, I have an overall count of the market, so I could see where we were at this current point in time. Let it load up. Uh, Take me to the weekly. All right. So I could see that we were in a wave 4, and so it was all just left to find out. It was all just left to look and see what is happening currently. So if I go down to the daily, there were two scenarios. There were two scenarios, either an A, B, C, D, and E. Let me move this. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and then we would move out from here. Or we had an A, that is A, B, C, maybe a W. No, it can't be a W, so just an A, B, C, and then we would then have A, B, C, D, E for the wave B. So this is where the wave B would end. Then we would come down again to come into this region for the wave C. Now, given these two scenarios, I had to narrow down my options. So I was observing. One thing I noticed was that these looked like diagonals, so I took this as a wave 1, 2, and then another wave 1, 2, but this might not be a 1, 2. So if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, then it would mean that this is where the wave 4 bottom. So I'm still just watching to see whether this is actually 1, 2, 1, 2. As time goes on, I'll see about that. Maybe as the wave keeps moving on, I'll see about that. So I then came down here and I was able to count a 5-wave move up, as it's labeled here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, diagonal and ending diagonal. Now the corrective move was a bit difficult. I wasn't able to count it. I was only able to know that this was the bottom of a wave 2 because of the strong impulsive move. Let me shift this so you can see that. I was only able to know that this was the ending because of this strong impulsive move up. There were other points where I thought that the correction had ended. Somewhere around here, you can see that there are some lines there. There are some diagonals I drew there as well. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah. So I did think that this was 1, and then I was waiting to see if we would have the 1, 2, 3. I already counted 5 big moves: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I counted a 1, 2, 3, thinking that we would move up from here. This trade didn't go so well. Yeah, so that happened quite a number of times. There were divergences that I saw here, but they didn't play out. So I did lose some trades here. But when I saw this impulsive move, I was then convinced that this was in fact a wave 1, 2. So I then had to wait for an entry. Now before that even happened, I did have an opportunity to, given that I counted a 5-wave move, I had an opportunity to place a trade here. I thought that this was 1, 2, 3, and so I placed some trades around here, but I was stopped out. Then coming down here and coming back up, I realized, without seeing a 5-wave move, I realized I would be going for an A, B, and then a C. So I should have placed a buy limit trade here that would be triggered once price came down. Let me see what that would have looked like. So there's a major flaw that happened here. We didn't reach the 100% equality. Yes. What just happened here? Alright, so we did not reach the 100% equality. However, I could have still placed this buy limit if I had placed it. So if this is the 100, this is where the 100 mark is, I could have placed at the 61.8, and then my stop loss would be, if this is the 161, my stop loss would have been around here below the 85.4 and where the 123 is. So knowing that it would be around the 61.8 level and the 100, I would have placed my buy limit trade here, placed a stop loss around here. But that's something that I would do practice in the future. Then once we had that impulsive move, I then waited for a pullback, as I knew we would have a pullback. So going down, let me move this. Yes. So alright. So coming down, I saw a 1, a 2, then I saw a 3, and so I did place a buy trade here, but then I saw that went up, came down, went up, and then we broke the previous low. So that for me was a red flag, indicating that this was not in fact a wave 1 2, but would be an A, B, and then a C coming down. So I waited, so I anticipated an A, a B, and a C. By this time I was awake, but by the time price came down here, I was asleep. This was around this was 12 a.m., which is actually 1 a.m. Nigerian time. So again, I should have placed a limit trade, seeing that I properly anticipated what the market would do. So if I placed a limit trade at the 100 level, let me pull out the Fibonacci retracement so that I have proper accurate readings. 7 minutes in. Alright, so knowing that this is the third wave, I honestly would not think we'll be coming down to the 50. So seeing where the 100 retracement is, I could have placed at 100 and put my stop loss at 161, because I know that we would scarcely reach 161, or if I were a bit cautious, maybe at 200, or if I was still a bit more cautious, I could have placed at the beginning of the wave, depending on how much money it is and how much money I would lose, and depending on my risk and position size and all of that. Then if we were successful, I would then look for more entries to be able to increase my position size. So that is those are two entries I could have made. Let me change my color back, indicating my risk. So that is how this current trade went. Currently we are pushing up, meaning that this is actually us, meaning that this is actually an A, B, C, D, E. So this is where the wave 4 ends. We'll need to break the 3,500 level to fully confirm that, but until then I have serious doubts as to whether this can be a wave E. We've already broken this high and this high. So this high and this high have been broken. The only high left to break is this. Profit targets are anywhere between, this I calculated using the 61.8 of wave 1 to 3 and 100 percent of wave 1. So profit targets are anywhere between 3,500, 3,700 and 4,400. So yeah,